Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to a Bill in Boca Raton. Hey, Bill, what's going on?
Not too much. Enjoying the warm weather in Florida just like you, except on the other coast.
Perfect, man. Perfect.
Yep.
Do you listen on the internet right now?
Yes.
Cool, man. Cool.
No, I enjoy that. That's in your Tiger TV and everything. I've been watching you for years, and you've really taken this whole programming to a level that's just phenomenal.
I appreciate it.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
And right now, folks, let's go all the way up to Vancouver. We have our man, Mr. Yale Simpson. Yale is the chairman of the board of Extorre, as well as Exeter Resources, folks. Extorre and Exeter trade on the New York Stock Exchange. Extorre under the symbol XG. Exeter Resources under the symbol XRA. You can come over to our website at TFNN and hit those banners right here, right now. Yale Simpson, how you doing?
Good talking to you. It's been a little while.
Yeah, we had Rob was on. He was giving us a great update. About 6-7 weeks ago. You got a lot of action. So, what company would you like to start with?
We're going to talk about Extorre.
That's a beautiful thing. So
XG, as he mentioned, and just for your listeners, I mean, why I'm speaking about two companies. This company, Extorre, listed as XG, was a spin-out.
Yes.
Many companies do spin-outs when you've got an asset that is better on its own.
Right.
And that's been the success of Extorre, and listing on New York Stock Exchange has been a major development for the company. So let's talk about that.
That's it. So the Cerro Moro. I mean, this is a structure that is absolutely huge. Can you tell us how big that backyard is you have?
Well, Argentina. We're involved in Argentina.
Yes.
And we started off as a little company doing exploration, looking for gold and silver, and we started that off 8 years ago, and have had considerable success. And now we're moving into the mining scenario. Because when you're first into a region, I don't care whether it's Alaska or in Argentina, you take up big positions, and the size of our lands down there that we control are in the hundreds of square miles.
Right.
And when you put good people in the right area, whether it's in the oil business or the gold business, we've been very successful, and we put together the initial 1.3 million ounces of gold. And I mean, look at the gold price. I mean, at $1,900 an ounce, and you get 1.3 million.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
It's a lot of gold.
That's big money, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And gold, silver space. As people know, gold has a mind of its own. It is a currency, and it's the only good one out there. Even the Swiss franc, they've decided to tie that to the euro.
That's pretty amazing that they devalued the Swiss franc. No doubt. That had to shock people that they thought they were in a safe investment, and they woke up in the morning and they had 10% less. Right.
Yeah. So we're in just for your listeners, we are in the development stage. In other words, we are doing mainly engineering work to take the project from just a concept of a mine into the detailed design, the nuts, the bolts, the rivets, the trucks.
Yes.
Ahead of taking that mine into production. It'll take us just on 2 years to fully build the mine, but the cash flows to be generated from that mine are very good, and I suggest people go to our website. The cost, just for your information, I mean, the cost on our mine over the first 3 years to mine and produce a bar of gold is $236 an ounce. And with the gold price in the $1,800 to $2,000 range, if you can produce something for $236
sure,
and sell it, nobody has margins like this.
And so what type of mine are you thinking that's going to be?
Well, most gold mines, and if you think of the old mines in the old days, you think of an underground miner with a helmet.
Yes.
In many respects, this is that kind of a mining. You will be underground, but you got machinery down there and you got trucks down there. But it'll be some mining from surface. But most of these mines that are very, very high grade, as we call it, like ours, be mined from surface and then underground. You're talking about mining there, on this project probably for 20 years. The initial life from the reserves we've drilled is about 8 years, but these mines live a long time.
And of course, once you get into the structure, that's when things get really interesting, right? Because then you can spread out from that structure, right?
That's it. I mean, in any business, if you're running a factory producing a widget It's very straightforward to increase your capacity by 20% once you're in production, have cash flow, and have the people.
Right.
The big hurdle for these projects is getting those people together and getting the project started. We recently put out in August the full analysis of how this mine would look, and people can go to our website. You can and have a look at that study. These studies are very sophisticated. The international engineering groups put them together ahead of the decision by international banking groups to finance these mines.
Sure.
But in the case of this one, it's a gold mine. It's a gold-silver mine, and why people go to Argentina to look for gold is because the quality of the ores there far surpass what we now have in North America. We had these ores 100 years ago, but if you want them today, you typically go to a place like Argentina.
Yeah. Now, you're a geologist, right?
Geological engineer.
Geological engineer, okay. So, I mean, it has to be pretty amazing. How did you come upon the mine, Yale? How did you find this? I mean, because it's such a huge find.
It was found initially, the gold was initially found, believe it or not, by a major mining company. When they were flying a helicopter over to their site, they looked out of the window and saw that there was something on the way over. So back in the early 1990s, they went back to this site. They found a bit of gold, not as much as they had on their primary site.
Yes.
They built one of the biggest gold mines in South America on their site. And when we came along in 2003, when the gold price was $300 an ounce,
right,
we bought it from them for $100,000.
Amazing, amazing.
And we have turned that into a billion-dollar company.
Amazing. Now, listen, can you stay with us? Because I'd like to talk about Exeter Resource, too. Can we do that?
Let's do it.
Okay, awesome. It will just be a 3-minute break, and we're going to come back, folks, and talk about Exeter Resource. Because, see, what he did is he spun off Extorre from Exeter. So if you had owned Exeter, folks, okay, you got a double banger here. This is Tom O'Brien. This is Yale Simpson. We're going to be coming right back, folks.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. My new book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, is for sale at Amazon.com for only $18.40.
Welcome back, folks. We're talking with our man, Mr. Yale Simpson. Yale is the chairman of the board of Extorre Gold as well as Exeter Resource. We're going to talk about Exeter Resource right now. Yale, you had a heck of a week with Exeter Resource. Holy cow, man. I saw that filing with the SEC, and this thing took off. Tell us what was going on there.
Well, what's interesting is the answer from the chairman of the company is almost no comment.
Well, you know, it was so cool.
We traded huge volumes.
Yes.
We did a complete breakout from our trading pattern.
Right.
And I must say we've had phone calls and emails from every direction. Clearly, there is a new buyer. It is not something. Well, I really can't comment. Well,
that's
and I know
listen,
you'd love me to.
And listen,
I have suspicions as to what is going on, but from a corporate point of view, I'd rather just say no comment.
Well, you know, it's amazing, you know, and I know, Yale, I gave you, you know, a copy of The Art of Time in the Trade. This is a classic time in the trade, you know. You have volume at highs at 8:30. You know, you had huge volume on the way up. Meaning, when I'm talking about on the way up from 2009 going all the way up, you came back with dramatically light volume. That means that people are holding their equity, right? And then, boom, this week, folks, if you're watching this, now this gets delivered on TV now, too, Yale, so they're watching it on TV. And what you're looking at here, folks, of course, is that you did $4.9 million, and you broke, you know, exactly what you just said, that whole downdraft that's been going on since May of 2010. So,
That's
you know.
big volume.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man.
Well, what is really interesting, and I want to talk about the fundamentals of the company because
Yes.
I'm the chairman, and it's all about the fundamentals.
Sure, absolutely.
I am a founder of the company since 2003. You know, in terms of the stock performance of junior equities relative to gold have underperformed. You've
Yes.
probably had people talking about that.
Yes.
The last quarter of each year is almost invariably strong for the junior equities. If I take Exeter and Extorre,
Right.
and I look at them over the last 5 years, typically the gain has been somewhere around 37% from September 1st to March. If you take our summer lows to our winter highs, on average since we started the company, the gains have been over 100%. Now, why that is because in the fall, people look at the space.
Right.
They're no longer sitting on the fence. They kind of were thinking about decisions during the summer, and in the fall they tend to act. And people cannot have this gold price continue to perform this way without looking at these equities and saying, look at the money these companies are making. When you look at a junior like us, in comes the speculative element of how long can these kinds of companies like Extorre last before the senior companies either merge with them, do that kind of a transaction.
That's right, because of course what ends up happening is you have two different things happening, is that the senior companies have plenty of cash because they're pumping out so many minerals, and they need more reserves, right, because they're taking dirt out of the ground.
Yes, and when you look at the discovery we have, this is in Chile. It's the best mining jurisdiction outside of Canada. It's a huge deposit. The engineering, it's advanced. This is not a wildcat. Let's drill some holes and see what we can find. The company's invested over $50 million so far. The scope of the mine is on a gold equivalent basis, because there's byproduct copper.
Yes.
On a gold equivalent basis, the mine is capable of producing somewhere between 800,000 and 1 million ounces of gold per year for upwards of 15 years. That is the scale of the discovery, and what we are spending the money on is not to drill holes and hope to find gold. That is behind us.
Right.
All the excitement, the euphoric discovery phase we've seen. This is all about bringing out the value through engineering and then showing the net present value and the cash flows. That's what we're doing now.
Well, listen, we appreciate you being with us today, Yale. You have a great one, safe one, and of course we look forward to having you back.
Thank you. Great talking to you.
You too. This is Tom O'Brien. This is Yale Simpson. Have a great weekend, safe weekend, folks. Look forward to speaking on Monday.